Hello and welcome to another dose of Monday morning medicine. Today, I'm going to speak to the idea of detoxing, cleansing, and the idea that a lot of us have that you can just remove toxins and waste from your body by taking a couple of things. And in a way, that might be kind of true, and in a way, it's not really true. So I'm going to get into that in some detail. But I'm also going to speak to the process that I usually recommend people do when they want to go on a cleanse. And I've been teaching a cleanse course twice a year for about the last 25 years. And I'll walk you through how that works. So if you want to try it on your own, you could do that as well. So when we think of the idea of detoxification, the most important thing is to recognize that your body, especially inside your liver, and imagine every one of your cells has a tiny little liver in there too, the chemistry inside your liver and inside some of your cells has the actual nutrients, enzymes, and other little cofactors that can take hostile, toxic, highly destructive, highly oxidative material and chemically change it into something that's less hostile or what we call more inert. So when we think of detoxification, it isn't that we're just taking a toxin and making it go away. We're taking the toxin and turning it into something else, and then possibly something else, and then possibly binding it with something else, putting it into a fat cell, diluting it with water, other things like that, so that it can be eliminated out of the body. So I would say the first thing to always consider in the idea of cleansing and detox is what we actually want to do is two things: enhance the ability to deal with hostile chemistry, and two, enhance the ability and all of the pathways and organs and systems that actually eliminate wastes through your body. And that's a lot of possibilities. So, does cleansing work? Well, if you eat better for a while, eat more nutrient-dense food, avoid adding things to your body that hurt you, in a way, you're cleansing by the default of omission, in the sense that less homework means more nutrients available for your body to do what it needs to do instead of clean up after a perhaps unhealthy lifestyle. So in that sense of cleansing, add less garbage, less, need to sort out the garbage, more health. So that's a benefit. But again, it's not technically cleansing in the sense of taking hostile things and making them go away. Now, there's another aspect of cleansing or detoxes that, again, aren't specifically getting rid of the harmful material, but what they do is, say, taking things like milk thistle, dandelion, anti-inflammatory substances, things like that. They reduce the actual secondary harm of normal biochemistry. So we live in a relatively more toxic world than we have for the last 200,000 years. So when we think of what your body's systems have been prepared for over, geological time, and what we're dealing with today, not only are the toxins themselves a problem, but they create secondary metabolites and secondary situations like, say, chronic inflammation, swelling, edema, and other things that actually just make your body a bit more like a swamp. So by going on a cleanse, by doing things that help you, by taking supplements that actually protect your body from those secondary processes, again, you're going to be healthier, you're going to feel better, you're going to have less symptoms. But again, technically, we're not magically making the harmful substances go away. We're mitigating or reducing the harm of what they actually do in your body when they're just stuck there. So to maybe bring this to the crux of the conversation, in fact, no, you can't just make toxins go away. But yes, you can reduce the inputs for toxins. You can reduce the secondary dysfunction that they cause. You can support the organ systems that help them. You can eat foods and take supplements that actually support the enzyme pathways. Specifically, you can take supplements, eat foods, drink more water, and many other things that help elimination work. But for those people who shake their fists saying detoxification is a lie, they're kind of right, but they're also being a little bit, I don't know, picky about terminology. So what if you decided this spring, because it's spring cleansing, good time to take care of yourself, and why not get ready for our beach bodies in the summer, etc. What would a really good cleanse look like? Well, again, this is what I've been doing for about 25 years with people, and there's a 10 sequence process to them. Some of them I think are pretty obvious, and I'm just going to walk you through them step by step because I've found them to be very, very effective as a clinician working with people one-on-one when they have to heal their bodies, or with large groups of people who want to do a group community cleanse, which usually I offer every spring as well. So the first thing, which might seem counterintuitive, is start with the do's, then work on the don'ts. So by that I mean, what would it be like to keep your lifestyle more or less the way it is at first and focus mostly on eating the best diet you can, drinking enough water every day, which is a couple of liters, especially the first liter in the morning. Giving yourself times to fast, maybe trying intermittent fasting, avoiding things that might just be too much, like, excessive meal size, processed foods and things like that, which the fact that we're allowed to call foods like processed foods and junk foods foods is still kind of annoying. So, what would it be like to just try doing the do's? Eat 2 to 3 really healthy meals a day. Drink your water. Get some exercise. Try meditation. See what breath work is like. See what your life would be like doing good things. And as you start to get familiar with that, which might take a few days, the parts of you that might feel like you're going to miss out on something really, important or something like that, you're already going to be satiating your needs and getting into a kind of momentum where you feel like you're doing better already. So it makes it a lot easier to maybe remove that extra snack, remove that drink at the end of the day, use healthier ways to deal with stress than perhaps the unhealthier ways. And to make that transition something that's very meaningful to you by doing the good things because they're good for you, and then looking at the things that might not be so good for you as the challenges one at a time or step by step. And the reason I bring this up is I've seen so many people try and do the black and white, yes and no. This is the good list. This is the bad list. I'm going to start a cleanse. I'm going to, try and change everything all at once. And most people kind of like New Year's resolutions, get about 3, 4 days, maybe a week, maybe even 10 days in before those don'ts, those not so good things, start to sneak their way back in. So it's just kind of like momentum. And we just want to shift the parameters of our lifestyle and behavior gradually and with intention and hopefully with some help. And that brings up step number 2, which is preparing for your very personal healing journey. Now, we can do that by having family, friends, accountability partners, clinicians, other people you might spend time with who might be doing something similar to create a period of time. And maybe, you get together once a week for lunch or tea or something to help each other maintain support. If you're going to see, say, a massage therapist, acupuncturist, someone else who can help you with, specifics, maybe even support you with the process. Now you're building kind of a support team around you because cleansing usually takes a couple of months, if not 3 to 4 months, to really do the complete cellular turnover that you want to do. Because again, magically, it's not really possible to make it all just go away. So in that second step, getting prepared for your healing journey, you want some community. You want some healthcare support from someone who knows about how your body works. And you want to create some parameters for yourself. If it's a number of weeks, if it's specific outcomes, if it's specific limits of do's and don'ts, so that you actually have kind of like a checklist every day and people you can interact with regularly that support the process. Because if you're having a stressful time, you feel alone, you feel overburdened, you're pacing around at night, you're going to be, and pardon the silly imagery, probably pulling your couch cushions apart, looking for pieces of potato chips from the last time you had a potluck, just to have something crunchy and salty because you're feeling too burdened and too alone. So that second step is really important. Do it with people who can help you organize it clearly so that you know exactly what to expect and how to prepare yourself and how to be consistent about it. Number 3, it isn't always just about the toxins. It's about your entire physiology turning itself around from perhaps a less healthy lifestyle to a more healthy lifestyle. So what are the most obvious things that are going to help any human body feel better, work better, and repair itself better? First things, of course, enough sleep and enough rest. And rest isn't sleep. Sleep is a time when your body's so busy healing itself, you don't have the calories to be conscious. Funny thing to think about, but it's also kind of true. So maybe try and find 20 minutes a day, lie on the floor, pretend you're a cat, find other things you can do, pardon the imagery, to make sure that you actually engage in rest. And rest isn't looking at your phone, it's not reading a book, it's not listening to whatever's going on in the world of politics. It's just being calm, horizontal, and aware of what your body feels like so you can rest as well as get enough sleep. And then there's also play. We need to move, we need to laugh, we need to connect, we need to have a sense of meaning. So when we have that motivation, that sense of connection, and that sense of play, the time you spend in your kitchen, put on some music, dance around, make a really good pot of food that might last a couple of days that's full of nutrient-dense food, and keep reminding yourself, make this about the enjoyment of becoming healthy, staying healthy, and what it's like to actually live a healthy life instead of feeling like you have to fight some, imaginary monster out of a science fiction movie to make, some heroic, stressful thing happen. And as much as that might seem like a dramatic way to go about this, it's usually the most short-lived for people. So, number four, we want to increase our muscle tone, perhaps a little bit of muscle mass, and we wanted to decrease the unhealthy fat stores in the body. Now, that doesn't mean we all have to have 10% body fat and walk around looking like we're fitness models. So, that would be kind of cool too. What we want to do is make sure that your growth hormones are activated, your circulation is activated, your muscle cells, which in previous Monday morning medicines I've talked about, are like a physiological organ system that support every aspect of your health. So by doing anything you can to improve a little bit of fitness, a little bit of tone, a little bit of muscle mass, you don't have to get huge, you just want to get fit. And as we're doing that, of course, we're going to be hopefully reducing a little bit of perhaps our little muffin tops and belly fats and, bigger butts than we might need and things like that, which, aren't about fashion. It's not specifically about how we look in the context of medicine and human health. It's about how fat stores actually store various kinds of toxins, various kinds of medications, even certain kinds of drugs which might people call recreational drugs. And when we're going through the process of getting healthier and more fit, sometimes we run into the fairly uncomfortable situation of as we're losing that stored fat, especially from winter and feasting and things like that, we actually have to go through the process of, in a way, detoxifying chemicals and hormones and medications and even drugs that are stored in fat cells. So we want to support all the systems that can handle those chemicals, but we also want to prepare ourselves for that process because human fat is just energy storage. It's just calories for tomorrow. But unfortunately, in the modern world, fat cells are also kind of like little garbage dumps for chemicals that we actually need to just protect ourselves from. And fat cells are often like little protective prisons so that the toxins don't interact with other tissue or your genes. So we stuff them in there to make them kind of go away. But again, toxins can't just go away. So as you get your body healthier and you start getting more fit and gradually lose those fat cells, those toxins are going to move through hopefully a stronger liver to move those chemicals around to make them more inert. And your elimination organs, drink your water, especially in the morning, so you can flush those chemicals out. And there's other strategies you might want to consider depending on your lifestyle and what chemicals might be suddenly back in your brain after a while of being held, maybe in your abdomen or around your belly button somewhere. Number five, and this is one of the most important ones, we want to stabilize our metabolism. And metabolism kind of means everything that makes your body work as a system of physiology. So it's not a specific thing, but the things that I would anchor that on for most people are your insulin metabolism, most likely in modern life, is going to be an issue. You're going to want to take care of by eating a lower glycemic diet, lower amounts of processed foods, less starches, less sugars, less fruit juices, things like that, so that you're eating things that don't disrupt insulin physiology, because that affects everything and is linked to probably 65–70% of modern chronic illness by itself. Another thing about your metabolism is stress. Stress is a part of life. There's good stress, there's bad stress, and then there's traumatic, erosive, chronic, burdening on a very deep psychological kinds of stress. And they all trigger different changes, especially around adrenaline and cortisol and our survival hormones, which tell your body to behave differently because obviously any animal, humans included, is going to have a different physiological process when it's in a fight or flight survival state, then in a rest digest, have a feast and or a fast with your friends. So when we stabilize our metabolism, we actually go through a series of questionnaires, well, in the course that I usually do, to make sure we know which hormone, which enzymes, which neurotransmitters are out of balance, so we can make the best and most appropriate choices to get all of the metabolic systems working properly. And an easy analogy for this is imagine that you're driving a car that has 4, 5, 6, 10 different wheels, different hormones, different enzymes, different neurotransmitters. And as long as those wheels are all on the ground and they're doing what they're supposed to do, you're going to get where you're going and have a really good ride. Whereas if all the different wheels are pointing in different directions, some of them are wobbling, some of them are dragging, some of them are overinflated or deflated, it's going to be a rougher ride. So again, when we want to stabilize our metabolism, we just want to make sure every system is humming along, working together, because those systems determine every other system in your body, because it's either survival or it's thriving. Number six, and this seems counterintuitive to wait this long, but there's obviously reasons why. Number six is to improve and strengthen and support every part of your digestive system, from how you chew your food to whether or not your stomach acid is strong enough or actually making enough or too weak, whether or not your small intestine, your pancreas, and all of your microbiome, all the enzymes and critters and things living in your tummy are working together like a symphony to pull all of your food apart to make all of those molecules easily transported through your gut membrane, which is one cell thick, into your blood supply, through your liver, through your heart, to all of your 70 trillion little U's, all those little cells that you need to take care of. So getting your digestive system working is going to be great, but you kind of have to have a stable metabolism. You kind of want to be in better shape, and you want to be doing the do's before you really worry about whether or not you're going to digest all that really good food down into everything else. Because there is an order to these things based on how physiology works. So, number seven. Your immune system, believe it or not, 75% of your immune system all day, every day sits at the front line of your small intestines, keeping your poop out of you, out of your liver, out of your brain, as well as keeping all the little micro infections that live in your microbiome and your gut GI and your GI tract in uh, especially if you've ever taken antibiotics in your life and things like that, from causing more problems. So imagine you're the immune system and 75% of your day is sitting up there against the wall of poop, trying to keep bacteria and funguses and viruses and all kinds of other things from getting into the body. And depending on stress, you may be working too hard or not hard enough, depending on chronic inflammation, depending on alcohol, depending on every other thing that disrupts the health of your small intestine. Your immune system is going to have an easier or harder time doing its job. Because if you want to do a cleanse, however you decide to think of a cleanse, pooping into your bloodstream is not probably a cleansing thing to do. So we want that immune system doing exactly right, which means we have to mediate your immune system or modulate its behavior. Because if it's too strong, it's too inflamed, it's too freaked out, it's triggering stress responses. If it's too weak, then things are actually infiltrating into your lymphatic system, into your blood supply from your gut, which includes poorly digested food, toxins in your food, and all of the critters, a couple of pounds of critters that live in your body all day, every day anyway. So we want to make sure your immune system is very stable. And I know you're probably asking, well, Dr. Smith, why are we talking about the liver? Well, if you think about it, and I'm going to jump onto the liver next because number eight is detoxify your liver. Whatever comes into your body has to go through all of these processes and all of these potential barriers or boundaries or limits to your health and physiology before they even get inside your liver. So as much as it might make sense to just start taking everything you can for your heroic little liver sitting there doing its job, everything that's coming downhill or downstream pouring into your liver is what your liver is dealing with. So as much as I think, sure, take care of your liver, you can't actually get your liver to do a better job until what's pouring into your liver is less of an insane job for anyone's liver to be doing. So we go through these other stages first because they're good for you. They build really good habits. They're going to help your body and your liver work better. We're just not asking your liver to do extra push-ups until we actually have a safe, healthy, nourishing, consistent environment for your liver to work, because then your liver can work better. And then taking things that support liver health reducing liver inflammation, reducing liver swelling or edema, getting rid of viruses that love to hang out around your liver and things like that. Now that makes really good sense because now it's liver time. And I know that seems weird to wait so long, but it actually just takes that long to get all the interference out of the way before your liver can, well, meaningfully get better for anyone. So something to think about, cleansing. Make your liver happy and then give it what it needs. And then absolutely, it can do its detox pathway work. And then number nine, drum roll please, you can actually speed up how your elimination organs work, which is your lungs, your kidneys, your skin, your gallbladder, all these other systems that actually have the job of removing wastes now that they're relatively inert. Your liver's done its detoxing job. Now we can just help flush it out with really good behaviors. And again, throughout this entire process, at least the way I do it, we do questionnaires to make sure how's every part of your digestive system doing? How's every part of your immune system doing? How's every part of your liver doing? Your liver has three different systems of detox and elimination itself. What about testing your internal organs, even with questionnaires to make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing? Because as long as they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, detoxification and elimination are working 24/7 the way they're supposed to with your help. And now imagine you're 6, 8 weeks into a cleanse and your body's been getting better and better and better at that. And as you start losing weight, those fat cell toxins start coming out and your liver is going, I'm ready. I'm finally ready to chemically neutralize those poisons. So your elimination organs, like your kidneys, and skin and lungs and everyone else, can now gradually eject or eliminate wastes to wherever it is you go to the bathroom every day. While we're also improving our elimination organs, we want to recognize that all of the toxins that we detoxify to the best of our ability are also moving through your circulatory system. So as we move through the process in stage 9 to get rid of or eliminate waste, we also want to make sure we're supporting the health of all of your circulatory tissue. And most adults have around 100,000 kilometers of vascular tissue. That's a lot of traffic or a lot of roads to take care of. And when we're again eliminating waste, we can trigger more injuries to our blood vessels. So we want to make sure we do this very slowly, step by step, and we protect your circulatory system in every way we can because the number one killer in the modern world is heart disease. And most heart disease is due to damage to that 100,000 kilometers of vascular tissue, or most of it, where we actually get plaquing and wounds and stiffening to our arteries. So a danger of rapid cleansing or weekend warrior cleansing without really thinking this through is we can actually trigger more heart disease driving damage if we don't do it properly. All right, here we are, number 10. The last thing that we want to do, assuming we're still doing all the do's, and now we're not doing all the don'ts, or don't do the don'ts. And we've been doing this for a few weeks, and your elimination organs are happily working away at the toxins that are now neutralized because your detox pathways are working. Everything's moving as well as it can. What do we do on the last stage? You support your, say, 70 trillion little U's, your little cells, by making sure your mitochondria are working, the detox pathways in your cells are working, the receptor sites around the surface of your cells are actually being signaled properly, and or their signaling is enhanced in a way so that all of the waste that's maybe just outside of your cells and stuck inside of your cells can actually start moving around. And now would be a good time to start a cleanse because your detox pathways are actually working, your elimination organs are actually working, and now your trillions of cells can flush their, pardon me for saying this out loud, little toilets into your circulatory system, blood supply, lymphatic system, to be gradually eliminated through a now functioning detox system. So we can interpret these things in a lot of different ways. I'm not here to tell you the right and wrong of all of this. I'm a clinician. I've been in practice 30 years. I've been a professor for about 20 of those years. I love working in the educational part of healthcare. For those who might be interested, I offer a 8-week cleanse every spring. This year it's starting April the 8th. Please send me a message if you want to check that out. To go through this exact process I was just talking about. Or you can use that process in whatever way it makes the most sense to you. In the course that I offer, there's 3 books that come with it. One is the cleanse manual that has everything you would need to know and think about, as well as um, lists of all the things that you would want to actually consider trying for every system in your body. Another one is a bunch of handouts, or pardon me, questionnaires that you can do for every hormone, enzyme, neurotransmitter, stomach, intestine, liver, kidneys, gallbladder. How are they doing? How are you doing? How are your cells doing? How's your immune system doing? By taking those questionnaires, you can direct your choices based on the recommendations in the Cleanse Course manual. And you also get a copy, a PDF copy of my book, Returning to an Ancestral Diet, which is a big 600-page cookbook, which has 500 recipes in it that are all focused on nutrient-dense, healthy, seasonal eating. So I hope that's given you some understanding, insight, and perhaps a bit of a sense of humor about the idea of detoxing and cleansing and why it makes the most sense to take a couple of months minimum, do this step by step, make sure you're building an awareness and habits and an understanding of how your body works so that for the rest of your life, you'll have those 3 books if you took that course to redo that cleanse. And again, I've been teaching that course for 25 years. Some people come back every few years to do it on their own. Sometimes people send me a message saying, I did the cleanse again on my own because they have all the material and the books and the experience, and they feel great and they're really grateful that they actually took that course so that they know how to do it on their own. So I hope that helps you, and happy spring. Happy spring cleansing, however you choose to do that. If you ever have any questions or you need any help, you can get a hold of me. I'm practicing right now in Souk, BC. And again, send me a message and we'll connect if you need any help. Have a great day and see you next week for more Monday morning medicine. Enjoy today's dose. Have a great day.